Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
And welcome back to Real Estate on the Rocks. Hey guys, this is Dave Snowberger here, Real Estate on the Rocks. We've got in the studio today just three of us. Because we got the guy behind the glass over there. He's got a mic today. Watch out. The new guy's got a mic. Never know what he's going to say.
And a new mixer.
Whoop, whoop, which he erased all the sound effects off of.
We had to upgrade it.
So we're going to continue with our own. So let's dive right in. Splash. So stupid. All right, we got Marshall Tucker in the studio, my right-hand man, my turtle over here.
Turtle. I always think of Master as Disguise whenever anyone says something about turtle.
Yeah, turtle. I was thinking more of like Entourage as my turtle. I know he probably wants to be E, but... All right, so one of the last episodes, we were touching base on FSBOs. We were kind of just shooting from the hip. We didn't really come in with a topic. We just really were kind of masterminding and turned on the mics.
Yeah.
And that segued us into for sale by owner chat. And then, someone had to take off and had an appointment to get to. And so we decided to come back in here, throw back on the mics again, and let's dive into for sale by owners. Yesterday was the first of the month. I know when I was done calling the expired list, I started on the for sale by owners that were out there and just started kind of thumbing through them and realized how many of them there actually just came on the market within the past week or so. So I want to kind of sharpen our tool on that real quick and dive deep on some of this stuff. No splash. And so we want to hover right there for a second and talk about for sale by owners. What's it take? What's our game plan? How does the Snowberger Realty Group really handle for sale by owners? My opinion is for sale by owners is one of the lowest hanging fruits on the cash tree, on the listing tree, on the business tree there is. I mean, those are people with their hands in the air saying, man, I need help. And every for sale by owner sign that I see, I look at that as a help wanted sign, the same that you would see in front of a restaurant or any other business that's needing someone to come in and really help them out. Boom, that's what I see. Sometimes when I see them, I'll be driving down the road. And a lot of times I'll take the picture. Sometimes I'll send it over to Marshall if I don't have time to call, or I'll call myself. Sometimes I'll hop right out of my truck and just go right up and knock on the door with my business card at hand and say, hey, you the owner? Cool. Here's my card. Can I come inside and check it out? Can I come inside and check it out? Because this is how abruptly people are going to interrupt you, And so just kind of show you right there's guys like me or consumers like me, a customer like me that might be interested in your house is going to come knock on the door. Here's the thing. You don't have to worry about me being qualified. However, whoever steps onto your doorstep and knocks on that door, how are you going to know they're qualified? So that's definitely a conversation I can have with them. Typically, that conversation comes in later on when we're really showing our value as agents, why they need a professional like us involved in the transaction, and involved. So let's take it down the list here. I'm going to turn it over to Marshall Tucker. He is an expert at prospecting with for sale by owners and setting up the appointment. He's converted quite a few of them, and he's definitely brought his buyer pool to quite a few of them. When inventory is limited, we go after the for sale by owners, and sometimes we can list them. If not, sometimes we can bring a buyer to them. So without further ado, Marshall Tucker. Don't beat on the damn table, bro.
That was my drums.
Don't worry.
Man, you just blew out everybody's ears in their cars.
My bad.
Hopefully no one crashed.
Anyway.
Please send a complaint to Marshall's bosses at info@realestateontherocks.com. Moving along. Hit it.
Anyway, so when calling a for sale by owner, I think probably your first 10 to 15 seconds is going to be the most important. That's when they're call screening. So you got to get kind of past the call screening. You want to get them into the habit of saying yes from the start. So when I call someone up, I'll be like, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? And just to get them to say yes or to find out if it's a wrong number. Secondly, I'm going to ask them if the asking price is still, whatever it happens to be, and try to get them to say another yes. And then I'm it's just asking great questions of them. A lot of agents
that hopefully, and then yes, just to kind of like form that pattern of saying yes.
Right.
So when you get to the fifth question, like, can I come over and
can we set this appointment? Yes.
Will you list with me? Yes.
All right. But yeah, you want to ask great questions. So I typically start off by hopefully asking questions other agents aren't asking. Just like, is the master down? Can you explain to me what's in the backyard? Just asking them questions about the property. It gets them talking about the property, gets them opening up a little bit. I might ask them what's the reason for them moving. Probably the most important question that I've learned to ask them before going over there is, I just lost my train of thought. You'd have to back.
What you want to do before you get
how do you determine your asking price? That's probably the most. I just got through telling James this whole story, and then I looked at the board there. I was like, where the hell was it? But how do you determine your asking price? Because what that would tell you is if they told you, well, I kind of looked at Zillow and got everything from Zillow, well, you know that they don't really have a professional in their corner. If they tell you that they reviewed the comps, that's kind of a red flag that they've already been talking to an agent, and I might dig into that a little bit more to find out if they have a sister or a close friend that's an agent. And then typically, we know that's not going to be a listing for us. But yeah, just continually asking great questions. How long have you been on the, have you had any offers? How long has it been for sale? Are you willing to work with buyer agents at this time? Are you flexible on that price? These are in no particular order right now. And then I try to, what do you plan on moving to when it does sell? Because now I'm trying to set it up for if they're moving to Colorado. I have agents in Colorado that I'm going to refer him to. Just different angles.
Right. To me, it's always about the delivering the words of choice there. So you just said something right there. Where would you be moving when it does sell? Mm-hmm. I create doubt. Where would you be moving to if it sells? It sells. I'm serious.
I'm saying wait, like I'm already the agent, though, I guess.
Right. So it's just different perspectives on both. As I say, if it sells, because you more present it, and then it's a done deal, and they're going to have no problem selling it for sale by owner. Right. My job is to kind of create that little bit of doubt, and that doubt actually comes from contribution. Because most people will have their blinders on or their guard up so high, they won't let you in to actually present the value of what we do, how we earn our money, what we bring to the transaction, what we bring to the table to help them get their property sold. A lot of times they don't realize that their only avenue that they have is that they might have listed it with actual ForSaleByOwner.com and paid to have it in there, and ForSaleByOwner.com will syndicate it to whomever or put it in Zillow for them. What?
You're telling me a story. The ForSaleByOwner.com thing reminded me of it. What happened?
Yeah, you can go Google that story. The The owner of For Sale by Owner used an agent to sell his house, or I think it was like a nice penthouse type thing in New York City.
I hired an agent to maximize my money.
Ended up, he couldn't get it done by himself, so. You got to Google the art. I'm not going to quote it or anything, but just all the details on it. But that's kind of like the wives' tale going around on that one. But check it out. Go Google it. Anyway, back to FSBOs. FSBOs, how I do it. Marshall, I have a little different approach. I typically call. We've had problems in the past. We talked about with newer agents coming in thinking that we're being disingenuous by saying, hey, we want to stop by your house. We definitely don't want to.
Exhausted all the inventory on the MLS. So I'm just finding some off, MLS properties that I can show my buyers to. So I'm creating a list, and I want to come over and definitely add this property to my list of off MLS properties.
Right. And so where I say more of, it's my job as the professional, as the neighborhood professional, as the neighborhood expert to come over and know all the inventory in the neighborhood, seeing how you don't have great pictures or anything on the internet. I'd actually like to come over and walk through just so I can, if I do have a buyer, I can bring you a buyer. That's, of course, if you're working with buyer's agents. Are you paying the 3% buyer's agents? I don't care if they're working with buyer's agents because, of course, they're going to say yes. Are you paying the 3% is the real question there, so are you cooperating? I know Marshall uses a lot. Are you cooperating with buyer's agents? And he doesn't ask because what could that mean? It's just left into interpretation after that.
I just want to know that they're working with buyer's agents. The commission is always negotiable. I'm doing air quotes because I can help coach them to show them my value to get that
right
3%.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, I've only found one of the calls I've made. I've only found one person who said he doesn't want to pay any agent. He's like, you can figure that out in the deal. and the sales price.
Right.
It's like, okay,
Well, a lot of them will say that too. Yeah. Hey, why don't you, if you're going to add in commission, I want $350 for my house. Let's just say $300 because I can actually do the math on that one. If you're going to want $300 for, I want $300 for my house. If you're going to bring them over as commission, I need $309.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people say that, and okay, well that's not necessarily going to happen or know how this is going to work. As most agents know, professionals like me know, and the clients know, and they've been well coached by their agent that's like me, that you're saving basically 6% off of the asking price right there. Now, typically what I've seen in the past is that a seasoned agent like myself knows that and is going to go after a minimum of half of that, if not more. And so a lot of times if that's a good agent that you're up against negotiating, that's what they get paid every day to do, and this is maybe the first or second or third time you've ever sold a house, I would say the odds are in favor of the professional agent that's job is predicated on being a great negotiator.
Yeah.
Right? And so more than likely, I hate to say it, you're not going to come out on top of that negotiation, right? Yeah. And so
and all this ins and outs of the contract, there's more than just
all the different problems we've seen come up.
Right, you have zero representation. Well, I've got the title company. Well, they have no fiduciary responsibility to you other than to, make sure that you're buying their title insurance. Yeah. Make sure that you're paying all their fees.
Yeah.
You literally have no representation through that. Well, I'm an attorney. Okay, well, you might be the exception.
If you're a real estate attorney.
Right.
Do you work with real estate contracts every day?
Yeah.
I do.
That's right.
Fool.
I know. All day.
So, but I was getting back to my script before Marshall interjected his script on me again. Was I call into for sale by owners and just say, hey, I list a lot of homes. I think I mentioned that almost every single time we have a podcast, so I'll stop beating that up. But we take a lot of listings at the Snowburger Realty Group, and we have the opportunity to know a lot of the neighborhoods out there, and a lot of neighborhoods coincide with neighborhoods right next door, or right across the street or whatever else. I consider those all to be one kind of big central area. Austin's broken into, different parts, and then right outside of Austin, there's different little cities, Cedar Park, Leander, Georgetown, Round Rock. They're all kind of right on top of each other. I kind of coined it like 5 points because between Austin, Round Rock, Cedar Park, Leander, and Georgetown, they're all with just minutes from each other and kind of touch. However, I like to say, I have a listing coming to the neighborhood. I just wanted to see what your traffic's been. What do you mean traffic? I mean, just kind of how many, what kind of activity are you seeing over there? Are you getting a lot of phone calls? Are you getting a lot of showings? How's it going over there? Before I list the home I'm about to list, I just wanted to call, and I usually like to gauge the activity. And so, can you help me out with that? And sure. And so sometimes they'll just start talking, and I just try to build a rapport with them, and once again, not being disingenuous, not playing Jedi mind tricks, just genuinely asking questions to get to know them a little bit more. And if I can slide in there to be of help, to be assistance to their for sale by owner. Hey, do you have a seller's disclosure on this property? Yeah. Because I'd like to see it. Because I know a lot of homes in that area have, that's known for its soil over there. It's a little bit loose, and so we're foundation problems or roofing problems or things like that. Do you have a seller's disclosure? I don't. Man, you should really have one of those. What's your email? I'll send you one. Yeah. And so boom, I got their email now. And so I can send them over a seller's disclosure with a quick note and really just kind of once again show value and start down that path of that follow-up path that I always talk about, because fortune's in the follow-up. All we do is follow up, ask great questions, and that leads to getting people to what? Know, like us, trust us, right? And so that's how I approach the for sale by owner game. I know lately James, the new guy, has been starting down that path of calling for sale by owners. What do you see in there that's kind of working for you that's getting your engagement? I know you haven't turned any yet. You've been on a few appointments.
Yeah. It's just been follow-ups for everybody so far. And then a couple people I called were in really hot neighborhoods, and they were right. They did need an agent for their particular one. Yeah. And they got multiple offers just because so little inventory comes up, and they're just banking on that, and hopefully nothing goes wrong during the contract, because legally they're going to be in a whole world of trouble. Yeah. If anything does. But so far, from what I understand, things have gone well for them. But asking questions and really qualifying them and getting understanding their situation has been helpful to further the conversations, as opposed to some of them just initially like, nope, don't need it. Oh, nope. And just like trying to like get me off the phone
Definitely.
as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I've been able to start asking more. Marshall's heard me a couple of times where people are like, you can tell that they're rushing off the phone, and just ask a couple more questions, and I've been able to, extend some of these conversations.
Certainly. And that's one thing that I find, just real quick, let me inject right there, is that within the first 3 days, they've been called a lot.
Yeah.
But what's a lot to us, right? And so they say,
20 times.
20 times is not a lot.
No.
It's probably 4 or 5 times.
Well, no, I mean, even if they got called 20, but let's just call it a rough 10. They got 10 phone calls, they're all agents, whatever else. The thing is, too, is we know that. And so I'm not going to throw an agent under the bus. However, I am going to mention that this is probably more than likely going to continue, is that most of the people calling right now have buyers for the area and want to see the home. Typically they're on MLS and we can schedule a time to come see it, or it might be when properties are released. And this is another Jedi mind thing, is just kind of usually when we bring properties to the market and list them, we put them on the local property tours, which is a group of realtors from anywhere from 10 to 20 realtors that will roll through. We have feedback sheets already ready, and just kind of how do you score the house? What do you think about the pricing? If you could change anything, what would it be? We ask other agents that all the time, and then we present that back to the seller really in that first week of going in the market, so we can pivot and make any corrections we need to right then and there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, well, I can't do that. How can I get 10 to 15 people over here? Well, what time I can come by Monday about 2 to 4 and show you what else we do.
The segue from the value.
Right. So ABC always be going for the close, right?
Yeah.
Or always be closing is so think about the close, and every aspect of the conversation with him, try to be closing, but don't try to list them over the phone. There's a stark difference.
Close for the appointment, not for the deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So, present much value, present doubt, you have to show them the reasons why they can't do it, because they're just full of the reasons why they can do it. However, typically after about 7 days, they start feeling the pain that they don't have that offer. 14 days and right around 21 days is the national average that they throw in the towel and they call someone. When we're the last agent standing and we're the last person making contact with them, who are they more likely to list with? With us, right?
I found the easiest ones
or with the agent that's doing the most amount of follow-up, which is us.
The easiest ones to get you to go, or to allow you to come see their property, are the ones with the most resolve. My friend, the veteran I was telling you about, who worked in contracting, he's still holding strong. And he's like, I'm not in a rush. He's like, I've sold 7 before. He's like, I'll write it out. I have no incentive to leave. And sure enough.
Cool.
For some reason, that reminds me of that one that we went to.
Cool. He's the exception, not the rule. The rule is typically at 21 days they throw in the towel.
And the vast majority are exactly what you're saying. He's I think the only one since I've been calling who's still hanging in there like, nope, I'm good.
There are certainly neighborhoods in Austin, Texas, and around surrounding cities in Austin that for sale by owners can typically still do it by themselves rather quickly and for top dollar. Terrytown, that's a very affluent neighborhood. Pemberton Heights, there's Crestview area. You can get into even some of the other cities around here, but nothing comes to mind for some of the smaller cities other than Georgetown. Georgetown has that great historic district downtown that has all the craftsman style colonial homes, some ranch style here and there, but more the craftsman. Those homes go up if they're well manicured and taken care of, and they're 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. They pop a sign out there. They've got someone. There's so many agents there per capita that they actually do have a pool of buyers ready to pounce on those houses. I put a house on a contract. There was a top 5 house in Georgetown, and I was able to leverage relationships that I have in the area and call around to the top listing agents, and I had one of them say, yep, I've got one coming over. We're coming on the market. This is going to be it. We're not going to budge from the price. Even if you do inspections and find anything wrong, we're not coming down off the price. My people knew that. Let's go forward and do it. And everybody in town cried foul. Everybody was just upset. Like, I can't believe we've been waiting in line. We were the next family. I had the next great family that was going to get the next, great Colonial over there, the great Craftsman over there is like, well, we got it. Sorry, but we were cash, we were ready to go, and we had no contingencies whatsoever. We just wanted the property. If it worked for us, we go over there and pull up. It had to have the wow factor as soon as you pull up. You've been to their house. Marshall has been to their house. Yeah, it's got wow factor. You pull up and you're like, holy crap. I even pull up and like, holy crap, I sold this thing.
They got a whole city block.
Yeah, no kidding. They do. They really do. They really do.
That was all based on the leverage you were able to do because of relationships.
Right.
You had the knowing and trust, not just with clients, but also with other agents.
And I'm typically on the other end of that. I rarely work with the buyer. This time I had the buyer. Yeah. And it was between Georgetown and Fredericksburg, and they cited me as being one of the top agents in Georgetown that knew the area and knew I had relationships because this was the situation they were going to be getting into. Yeah. And so they contacted me and said, hey, can you do it? And I was like, yeah. I didn't know if I could or not, but I put it to action. I put everything that I knew into, just texting everybody I knew, who are the top 10 listing agents in Georgetown, Texas. And more than all of them got a text from me. Some of them are like, I don't want to work with you, but here's a Hail Mary. The one that did was one of my favorite agents in Georgetown. I'll drop her name on here. Her name's Nancy Knight, just awesome person. But I knew that she has some great contacts there. She lists some great homes, and she was able to help me out. So,
Someone trying to break into her studio? Should
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, he's gone now.
He's gone?
When you try to whisper, everything still shows up, bro. You have a microphone on.
Oh my gosh. New guy can cut that out, right?
Yeah. Nope. Okay, so just the FSBOs, what I'm saying when I typically talk to the client, is that what you're talking about? When I talk to the client, I sell my value. That's the value I bring to the table, is that I know tons about the market. I pay attention to the market. I act as a fiduciary. I know the things going on in the market. I can leverage all my relationships to get your home sold faster so you're not sitting on it. What I'm bringing to the table, I'm not blowing smoke up your rear. I'm actually bringing to you actionable items that we're going to put into place and market your property at a high level and sell it.
And you have to do that from the beginning. And that's what I've been trying to working on doing, because I don't have the network obviously as large as yours or some of the other people around here.
Right.
I've been using that as, this is how I'm building up the leverage, how I'm building up the network and talking to people. So it's been a little more haphazard than I'd like it, but each conversation has gotten a little bit better.
Yeah, if I could critique you online, live right now, or it's not going to be live when people hear it, but if I could critique you live, it's going to be that you are a little green behind the phone right now, and so you're more coming from that space where you're asking a lot of questions, and you're not going for that close. And a lot of folks, they don't realize, I believe when you get into this business, they think that people are going to say, you know what, James, you're a swell guy. Why don't you come over here and list my house? No one's ever going to say that to you. Yeah. So you have to go for the close, and the close is that. The close isn't slimy. The close isn't vacuum salesman. The close isn't any of that stuff. It's that tie down of like, okay, hey, it sounds like we've got a lot of things common. We're checking a lot of the same boxes, and it sounds like you could use my help. I'd like to come over and just take 5 minutes of your time, 10 minutes of your time, 15 minutes of your time, and show you what benefits I bring to the table, and I think that I can make you more money than you're even asking right now, or I can net you more money than you're even thinking about. Does 2 or 4 o'clock work better for you? Not does that work for you? Question mark. That's an open-ended question. That is going to get a no.
If you don't like what I have to say, you can throw me out into the street.
Yeah, you can do Steve.
I'll roll myself out the door.
By the scruff of my shirt, you can Steve Follett. By the scruff of my shirt, and just throw me out of the house. Wouldn't that feel good to throw a salesman out of your house?
Love that guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. But you get what I'm saying. Yeah. It's just kind of like that's one thing that you lack right now is you're not asking for the business. Yeah. Is that you're doing a great job having the conversations. You're doing a great job dialing. You're doing a great job trying to get to know their needs and all that. But at the end of it, there's no ask. You have to have an ask with everything. To where on the other side of the spectrum was Marshall has an ask right off the bat. Which I always teased him and say that he's going in for the kiss way too soon. Yeah. It's like he just instead of the handshake or the fist bump or the pound on your chest, what's up, bro? He goes straight in for the kiss. And so
whoa, slow down.
Yeah. And he was asking people, basically, I want to list you over the phone, or if a lead was getting, a lead came into him, he was like, hey, let me send you over the disclosures in the contract. It's like, whoa, slow down, bro. Yeah. And it sounds good in theory. A lot of this stuff sounds good in theory, and a lot of these scripts that we have are kind of like distributed or syndicated out through, through agents. Yeah. They seem like they'd be great because agents have kind of like, just formed them into being in this comfortable spot. And we all know that there's no sales really happening on the comfortable side of this. No. There's nobody getting appointments on the comfortable side of it. Some people would disagree with me there. However, we all know that the paycheck lies on the other side of uncomfortability. Yeah. And so you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to go for the close. That would be what I recommend you. What's that?
I was gonna say, if they're in the comfort zone, they're well established and they're just taking in referrals or taking in.
Right. And none of us are there yet. None of us are there yet, and certainly not you. So that was my advice to you. I hope that helps some other people out that are listening, because you're kind of our target market with this whole thing, and that's one reason why we brought you into our podcast at first, was we wanted a perspective of the newer person in here so we can kind of speak to you more. So a lot of these times when we bring up subjects like this, we're talking to new folks, you see that my attention goes right to you and we lock eyes, not in a weird way, but we lock eyes and just kind of, I start talking to you on that level and try to offer you a little bit of coaching of, man, your life would change in 2 weeks if you started going for the close.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You get people to know you, like you, trust you, and you have to do that within minutes. Like you were saying, when you first start the conversation, you've got to get past the call screening.
Yeah.
Create some yeses in there. Know that, there's no real high pressure sale here. There's nothing like that. As salespeople, we're not high pressure people. We're usually just connectors and facilitators, and we're trying to help them out. We know that. We know they're trying to help. They don't see that yet. Yeah. However, that's our job, is to get them there. So once we get past those qualifying questions with them and we get some yeses out, and we can start asking them some tougher questions.
Yeah. Actually, we'll throw a list of the qualifying questions.
Yeah.
We'll throw that in the Top Shelf Agents page. That's a good.
Okay. Yeah. I want everybody to go over and visit on Facebook. Just go in the top search bar there and put in Top Shelf Agents. Look for it. There's a big TSA. It's a black and red logo that says Top Shelf Agents. Come and join that community. We're going to grow that as big as possible. That is for any agent that's just getting started or on the rise, or veteran agents that want to contribute and share. It's all about part of the sharing culture. We're going to stay away from any of the negative comments, anything negative we see on there. We're going to have we've got 5-6 moderators right now that will be taking a look at things, and definitely we want to come from contribution. We welcome great conversations on there. That's what this is about. It's about, Top Shelf Agents, conversations, by agents for agents. So anyway, Marshall, you got anything else to add to this?
A couple more tips, I guess, to get your foot back in the door after the phone call would be make sure you send them a handwritten note afterwards, thanking them for talking to you on the phone, maybe something that you pulled out of them. You can put some relevant information in there on that. And sending a video message. Didn't you just get one last week with a video message?
Yeah. Sorry, a text came in. I was reading it.
But I was telling James that earlier today too. I was like, man, send them. You're
talking about the for sale by owner that I.
Video. Yeah.
Oh, I did. I broke her off in a text. We went. She was tough.
Yeah.
Like, she was a
She's
tough
still
cookie.
tough.
Yeah, exactly. She's still tough. But she was tough because, she was like, oh, I've sold plenty of my own homes. Her email address was something to do with real estate. And so it threw me off when I saw it. I was like, are you a realtor? She's like, no, but I buy and sell homes all the time. So she's an investor, right? And so I go over there and I talk to her, and she kind of shoots me down. She likes what she's saying, but she's like, I can do this myself. I've staged the whole home by myself. Pretty house. Nice and staged, super cute, right? So I was like, okay, maybe she's got this. And I just implemented I didn't think I'd get it. I did the whole follow-up plan that I have, but I switched over. Now I do video texts, and so I was just like, hey, let's just call her Sally. Hey, Sally, this is Dave over here, Snowburger Realty Group. Just wanted to follow up with you and tell you, there's 2 more homes that just came on the market over there. If I can do anything for you, let me know. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye. And she texted me back 24 hours later, like, I love that video. Can you come over to my house by noon today? And I was just like, boop, yep. And you see kind of like that B-roll footage of like me hopping in the car, door slamming, and like hauling over there a million miles an hour. That was me. And so I get out of the car, I beat her there. She sends me a text, I'm going to be late, and I'm sure that was to test me even further if I get annoyed and leave. Yeah. And I hung out, waited for her, and then got it done, and so listed the house and now she's made the podcast. So
Sweet.
Good job, Sally.
Yeah, I saw my first Bon video. I'm continuing to work on that.
Yeah. It's easy, man. Once you get started, that's the thing is don't watch them.
The recording, I know, I didn't. I was going to look back, and then I remember us talking, like, don't even do it. Just
throw it out there.
You did good enough with that one. It doesn't even matter. Send it. And so I put the info in, and then boom, shut it off.
It's any of this stuff. Let's start. Let's put this on the list of shows to do later on.
Yeah.
However, but the whole video thing.
Yeah.
Like people just really kind of have to get over it. There's a lot of people. I get things all the time from friends. It's just like, oh man, you and your ego, always on the camera and whatever else. I'm like, dude, that's nothing to do with my ego.
Yeah.
I'm sure it has something to do with it.
Did you buy a house with me?
Yeah, you
All
did.
right then.
Yeah,
It
you
worked.
did. So,
Do you have the insurance? Where'd you find out about your insurance company? Where'd you
Yeah.
find out about your car?
Right.
Where'd you find out about your
Commercials.
your girlfriend?
right?
Well, some younger people at least. No, but what happened about if you missed a contact information or contact call when you were doing a phone blitz, your video? Mm-hmm. Tell everyone about that. I can't believe I didn't even think of that one.
I just recorded a generic video. It's like, hey, I just gave you a quick call, calling about your house. Give me a call back, 512-763-6547, and just made a kind of a blanket, video text. And then when people didn't answer, I just sent that to them right away.
That was genius. Next month.
Videos on it, man. Like if it's kind of like this podcast, right? And so we decided to get into this. This is something I've wanted to do for about 2 years. I doubted myself and didn't think that I could start this up. I didn't think that I'd be interesting. I don't like the sound of my voice. Just all this like self-deprecation. Just kind of always over-analyzing things in that analysis by paralysis or paralysis by analysis, excuse me, and overthinking everything. And then finally, I just kind of telling Marshall over here, I was like, I should start this podcast. And then we met you, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And, I really like a woman's touch on it. So we started reaching around the market center a little bit and found Alicia, and Alicia's hilarious. So ever since she sat in that chair, it's just been pure gold, and she's a great co-host also. And so then we did 1 or 2 shows with a crappy mic, and we've improved our mics, we've improved our computers, we've improved our soundboards. Now we're actually wearing earphones and things like that. And so now we're actually a nice little podcast, and someone just gave Real Estate on the Rocks an actual offer to buy us. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. I'm like, we've only launched about a month or 2.
Kiss
yeah, they went in
early.
for the kiss too early. And I was like, well, you got to put a couple more zeros behind that. But it was a good number. Yeah. It would have been a profitable number for me to take and sell the podcast already. Not going to happen, So, I want to grow this as much as possible. I love coming from that space of contribution and helping agents out, So,
it's just crazy that I've been wanting to do a podcast for years, different topic.
Right. Well, that was part of our interview process when I was talking to you about bringing you on to our team and to our ecosystem was talking about this stuff. Like, what do you think about this? And you're like, well, yeah, I've been wanting to do this too. It's like, oh, okay. I kind of roll my eyes. Like everybody wants to do a podcast, but like how much do you want to get involved? It's like, okay, I'll test him to see if he wants to get involved.
Oh man.
Here you go, kid. Here's $3,000 worth of equipment. Go make it work.
Oh, by the way, you're the producer now.
Yeah.
Who's a producer? Me?
Right. And so, a couple more shows here. You've got good credit. I'm a podcast producer. I'm a whatever. It works for you. I know that other people have contacted me saying, hey, how are you guys doing this? Can you show us how to do it? We'll pay you. I'm like, well, that makes me scratch my head right there. It's like maybe I could just turn that into a program to where we bring people in and get together a list over here and make it a Amazon affiliate list. They go buy all the stuff and we do an instructional video, really how to get started. Here's how you edit. Here's how you do the things. All this stuff's free on the internet. Yeah. And this is what's so cool about this little abundance thing we got rocking all the time. It's like, man, none of this stuff is proprietary. It's all out there. Yeah. It's all out there for you to learn. All you have to do is kind of start doing it, And so now we've got it going. Is it polished? Is it where we want it? Nah, well, I guess maybe
it's pretty good.
We're not that great on topics, because we sit around and we come up with topics.
In a couple seconds, we'll tie it all back into the FSBO.
And then we jump ship all the time. We start a topic and we jump ship. We've had some feedback from people saying, oh, sometimes I wish you guys would stick to topic because you're talking about really interesting stuff that really. I'm like, yeah, it keeps you coming back because maybe we'll finish it and tie it in.
Taste. We'll get a couple more episodes. We'll circle back.
Right, always. That's the thing is it's evergreen content. It's content that's going to work for us right now. We're not talking about anything that we would never try ourselves. We brought up Facebook ads an episode or two ago, and it's like, man, I just don't know enough to talk about them, so I shut it down as fast as possible. I know that I can sit in front of a computer and I can figure out a Facebook ad, but I don't know how it's performing. I can look at it. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know if I throw out a video and it's got 1,200 views, how many of those are actual views? Well, if I dug into it a little bit more, I find out that anything over a 3-second view counts as a view. Well, that sucks. I could just have 1,000 3-second views and it's a 2-minute video. So how's that performing? So that creates more doubt. Am I doing it right or whatever else? So I just like to play around with things, and the podcast was definitely something I wanted to get into. I wanted to jump into and come in and take it with some seriousness. And it helps us with our coaching program we've got going on. We've got Top Shelf Agents that we're growing up. We've got Top Shelf Coaching that we're really launching. I coach some individual people. However, I would love to scale that and get into more of this stuff. There's lots of things to do in real estate other than just buy and sell real estate. And so after a while, you can get into developing real estate, you can get into building, you can get into, if your thing's just rentals or investing in properties or working with investors, coaching. There's so much stuff you can do in real estate. Look at the success we have with our model for admins. Yeah. Right. So I could package up what we do with our admins and just kind of the success that they have, just kind of sliding in the chair and plugging and playing as good as our buyers agents do, or as good as our listing agents do. Yeah. Right. So once they come in, we have so many systems in place. Boom. And so we could do that with the podcast too. Yeah. So I'm just kind of like running through just all these ideas right here online or while we're on the podcast. And Marshall's like, what the hell are we doing?
I spaced out. What happened?
I totally blacked out.
It's all about FSBOs.
Sniffing salts.
What I was going to say, leave it with this, is if being the new guy, when I was new, I shadowed you a lot, and I went with you on almost
Who's me?
Dave Snowberger. Oh. I went with you on almost every FSBO appointment.
Mm-hmm. That's rare. Not a lot of listing agents take a...
If you do get lucky enough to be able to go along and shadow a listing agent. Go, but help him out too. Whenever he's saying things, be the one that you're shaking your head yes first, and that way the for sale by owner also starts shaking his head. Yeah. Usually I will leave Dave and I'll stand next to the for sale by owner and kind of align my body with him. And now I'm on his side and I'm looking at Dave and I'm listening to Dave's pitch. Now I get to see Dave in action and I get to help Dave out by being the yes guy over here, and it works. Oh yeah, it's helped.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I loved about taking Marshall with me, was that it became like one of those things like, oh God, I need Marshall with me. It's like sometimes I need my listing presentation. Sometimes
or if the crazy wife is over there eyeballing him, I'll take her out to the back. Let's go.
Or the crazy husband. Yeah, let's be.
Yeah, because you went out there with the attorney's husband.
Right? Yeah, they were outside kicking the soccer ball together and just kind of like.
It was a tree house he built, and he was an engineer, so he wanted to show me his tree house.
Grown ass man playing in treehouse. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. 5-star reviews. We're always after that 5-star review over there on any of the platforms that you're taking in this podcast. So please take the time, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like us quite yet, send us an email over at info@realestateontherocks.com. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what we could do better always. And then I would love to thank our sponsor, Mike Harrell with Guaranteed Rate. He is one of the most fantastic lenders we've ever dealt with. I've known Mike since high school. We're in our 40s now, so we've known each other quite some time. So we've maintained a relationship for that many years. He's a fantastic guy. So on behalf of Real Estate on the Rocks and Top Shelf Agents, I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for giving us a listen. We will see you next time. Fellas,
I'm out.
Here we go.